From every strand on the line of your reel, to the rods, to the anglers, to the lures on the end of your hook, let's talk about those big bass here on Co-Angler's Corner with your hosts, Rob Welch and John Stoudinger.
How y'all are? How's everybody doing? Hey, John's a little under the weather, so we got our old friend here, Mr. David Archibald. How's it going, David?
It's going. I'm glad to be able to talk fishing tonight. I mean, it's been kind of crazy for me at home almost this past month, just family things and stuff like that. And it's taken me away from fishing, and it's good just to talk fishing at least,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be in the middle of the season before we know it, man. The good weather stuff hopefully is on the way, because it's been crazy here weather-wise. But
I feel like I'm way behind right now.
Yeah. I've got my tackle room on a mess. I got my pegs all redone, and it's a mess. I got to get on it this weekend.
Yeah, I'm way behind. Way behind.
Oh, I hear you, man. I hear you. But anyway, if people don't know you, do this quick intro on you. The few folks that don't know you, just do a quick intro about your background and whatnot.
Yeah, I'm Dave Archibald. I'm a Toyota Series angler. Been fishing on the co-angler side. This year, I'm switching over to the boater and a number of the leagues this year. Now they got things kind of lined up a lot better. And I've been doing this. I've been fishing my whole life. Fortunately and unfortunately, 35 years of my life got taken up from professional extreme sports. And and with that, I've been a sponsored athlete for 35 plus years. So I kind of have an insight on the whole sponsorship game and all that, if you guys ever want to hit me up, all my social media channels are at Dave Archibald Fishing. So you can always hit me up on there. I just like to fish, man. And I'm very highly, John and Rob know I'm highly competitive. I kind of have that killer instinct, and I don't know when that's going to go away with me.
Hey, it may not, man. It may not. That's a good thing, though.
Yeah.
Heard that. But now I know you've been a long time. You're sponsored. I know social media has been a big change. Whatever changes you've seen kind of in the sponsorship area besides the social media thing?
Well, if I go back to my extreme sports days, basically my year would start with like thousands of dollars of gear just in my lap, all my travel entries of everything paid for. It was just because I was good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
And if you look back at, like the Rick Cluns of the world and all that back in the day, it was the same for them.
Yep.
But then, we've gone through recessions in different economic situations, in the past 20, 30 years, and the biggest being the housing market crash, 2007, 2008, changed the game on everything, every sports industry, me in extreme sports, the money just went away. We lost 75% of the industry and the player base of upcoming player base and everything, because everyone is being over-sponsored. And in a way that happened with fishing too. And then getting out of that, we've morphed into the social media age, where they had, Facebook was Twitter and Facebook were the two popular ones and all that.
Yep.
And all these companies out there kind of, they kind of like looked at it and like, okay, we're giving all this stuff and we really haven't got much back. And because all these companies have suffered financial hardships, they're like, okay, how are we going to have sponsored athletes, but make it more work for us? Yep. And that's where everything changed. Yep. And people who are used to just getting things handed to them left and right with no requirement to give back, it really was doing all these companies a disservice. And you got to look at sponsorship on both sides. You can't like people like, oh, I'm not going to use that unless I get it for free. Now, if you are like a Rick Clung of the world, Mike Iaconelli, Kevin Van Dam, people who bring it every day on social media, Ronnie Howell, all these guys, okay, you have something to stand on. But if you really think about it, 80%, actually maybe 95% of us, we don't have a leg to stand on. So we got to do things in different ways. And that's kind of like what I want. You've had a couple of guys on, I can't think of one of the names. He's on a couple of times, real good guy, very straight shooter. Not Kevin. You know who I'm talking about. Talk sponsor. You've had a few guys on here really like giving like the hard-nosed facts about sponsorship. And Kevin, when he was on, he gave some real good insight, about, he only has one guy who's an elite angler that he really gives it all to, and other guys, they have to do their part. It's a give and take, And so, a lot of you guys out there that are co-angler, just getting into BFL, just getting into Toyota Series, and you want sponsorship, you got to look at the big picture. Like, and if none of you watched the podcast with Kevin about sponsorship, you need to go back and watch that. Because
absolutely.
That's going to open your eyes, because he's got a few major big time anglers under his belt, and only one of them he really truly gives it, who's truly earned the right to get it all. And if you're not one of them, you can't be expecting it, so does that mean give up? No, it doesn't. So
work harder.
Yeah, not even. I mean, you could just be a part of your daily life, really. And I sat down with we all know who Mike Iaconelli is.
Oh yeah.
So and I look up to. I like him a lot. Some people don't like him, but we were at the Toyota Championships back in 2001, and I follow everything he does. Social media is fantastic, everything like that. And we had lunch, and we were sitting down, and I just asked him. I go, Mike, someone like me, I've been a professional athlete, I've been sponsored and all that, but what is it that people need to do to differentiate yourself with all these people want to be YouTube influencers and all this stuff? And he's like, know what he told me? He just said, just make it a lifestyle. Doesn't have to be a fishing action photo and all that. You could be wearing a piece of clothing, and you could be camping with your kids with certain gear on a backpack. Like both me and him are under Flambeau Outdoors. And you'll see him like with his son, they're backpacking through the woods. He's got the backpack on. It's like it's more of it's a lifestyle. It's not necessarily say, hey, this is my Flambeau backpack. Just kind of make it a lifestyle. And that was that was something that I took on, and something I still have to get better at, but it just made me realize that these companies are looking for more, they're looking for different and all that. Now back to the 95% of most people, if I didn't have a professional sports background, I'd be one of the 95%. Unfortunately for me, I had 35 years of being a sponsored athlete, kind of gave me some bones that I wouldn't have gotten. So for the, and if I didn't have that, I'd be with the rest of the 95%. And I'm still pretty much close there. I haven't won any major tournaments. I don't consider myself, one of the best out there. I do know on a good day, I can fish with the best of them, but, do I have the consistency of, the guys we're seeing fishing on the Elite Series, and like John Garrett, like he's got 2 top 5 finishes in the last 2 elites. How many of us doing that? None of us. So we gotta be realistic, and Kevin is talking about this, and some of the other guys, the things that are truly available, and you may not like it, is the pro staff. I mean, your 10%, your 20% discount. You know what? If you really like a product and that's what you really want to use, and no one's going to give you anything free. And if it is free, it's probably not good stuff. And you just take it because it's free stuff, and you want to look cool that you're sponsored. Is it really going to do you service in the long run? No, it's not. It's not, because once you get better, you're like, oh, I got to get rid of these reels. I got to get rid of these rods or whatever. It's like you're just doing it for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
But, as much as we dog the pro staff, for some people, that's where you have to start. So start there.
Yeah.
But start it with a company that you like. Start it with a product you believe in. Start it with a product that if someone asks you at the dock, hey, what do you like to use? And your first thought is something from one of your companies that you're a pro staff on, getting a 20% discount.
Right.
Because that's organic. If you really believe in it, that's organic. And you're going to post about it. You're going to take pictures of people. You're going to do videos and all that. And in the long run, you can earn something better. Oh,
yeah, definitely. It's like you get your foot in the door. And I've had a couple of companies, work your way up. I mean, they like what you do, and you have confidence in their product, and you promote it. Absolutely. I mean, you got to get your foot in the door. I say get a start, get a foot in the door.
Yeah, and it's like, like for me, like I got my foot in the door, and I end up having a great relationship with Enigma rods.
Yep.
And I don't have a bad thing to say about them. If they were still in business today, I'd still be with Enigma, regardless, because I have the confidence in them and all that. And everyone knows that people have reached out to me that I'm looking for a new rod home, and I've been playing with rods, doing my research and all that. And I've had companies say, we want you to use our rods, and even some pretty good things.
Yeah.
And I turned it down because in my heart, it's not really what I want to use.
Yeah.
Not
a fit for you.
I know what I really want to use. I like right now, I'm down to 3. I got it down to 3 rod companies.
Yeah.
And they're all good. They're all good. One, I have my foot in the door. One wants me in the door, and another one, if I wanted it to really make a run at it, I have to wait till July. I got to weigh that stuff. But I'm willing to, if that's the route I go, I will do that because that's what I believe in. Yeah. And then with that, I'm going to be able to freely talk about it. And even if it's not a great deal up front, it'll come,
Oh, absolutely.
And, and these pro staff deals can work for you.
Yeah.
It's just, you have to understand the landscape. You have to want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Don't be fake. Cause like Kevin said this too. It's like, we can tell if someone's just looking for something and doesn't want to get back. They just want their name. They want a new logo on their jersey and all. They can tell. And, 9 out of 10 times that is the case. Now, there are other companies out there that'll take anybody as a pro staff. Yep. And, because it's another revenue line, that works for them. But, pro staff isn't necessarily the bad way to go for 95% of the guys out there.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, you put what you put into it, you get out of it. I mean, I said, I know we've had some guests, talk about, if you're sponsor or potential sponsors at a show, go help them. Yeah. Hey, what can I do to help you guys out? I've done that before, even before I got sponsored with, I was using use their product. Step 1, use the product, get used to it, see if you like it. I mean, you see some guys that never use it, and they're like, you see them on, Facebook or video, and they're like, you can just tell they don't know the product. I mean, that's obvious. Yeah.
And there are guys out let's use John, for example. He loves the Arc rods.
Oh yeah.
Right. Yep. He's not sponsored by them.
Yep.
But he talks about them. Yep. He really likes them. He believes in them. So anyone from Arc rods, reach out to John because he's a good guy for you.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
But I mean, that's an example of he's sticking with his personal morals basically, and he really likes those rods, and I know he's reached out to him. So anyone from Arc, get back to him because he really does believe in your product. That's the type of guy that you want to have under your belt, even if it's just to start off as a pro staff or something, whatever. But the other thing too with pro staffs, like I said, there's pro staffs out there that they'll you'll see on Facebook, looking, want to be
Yep.
a sponsored angler. Oh yeah, we're a sponsored angler, and you get on. Oh yeah, I got 10% off. Woohoo! You know what? You'll never talk to the person who makes any decision making.
Yep.
You know. Now, if you really like the product, go for it.
Yeah.
But you also have to understand what their business is and how they're doing it. And so there's companies that I've gotten involved with that I reached out to them and they were quick. Oh, you get, I go, listen, that's great. You offer me 20% discount, whatever.
Yep.
But can we, I literally asked them, can we have a relationship?
Yep.
Can I do things for you and send you videos that you can use, in pictures and whatnot? And maybe down the line, maybe I can earn a bigger piece of the pie. I ask these questions, in that. Now, if I send that and I get a form email back and all that, I'm like, okay, is this a company that I truly see myself long-term? If so, maybe I'll take it and then I'll like cut through other channels. I'm like, hey, listen, like, I've been on your pro staff. I did this really to prove myself, but this is what I'm doing. I go, can we do something more? And I've done that with a multiple number of my sponsors, and I have gotten more. Yeah. It's like, I mean, almost all of them, really, to be honest with you. It was that way with Enigma. It was that way with a few others, and I basically told them what I do different. Like I talk I talk about like utilizing groups more than how many followers you have and all that. But I did a presentation to some of my sponsors on that, and they're like, and I gave them an example. I'm like, look how many people can see this. Like, oh my God! Next thing you know, I'm going from 20% to 50% off. On product, and they see me because I tag, like, anytime someone like, I'm sponsored by Liquid Mayhem, and there was someone did a post about scents and all that, and they were talking about bait fuel and all that, which I know works good. And I'm like, I put in, I go, hey, I hear bait fuel does work good. I go, I personally use Liquid Mayhem because I have proven that it works. I've done the 2 rods, all that stuff. And they use all natural product. And I just I Liquid Mayhem, I tag it, and I put in the products. And then you see, you get people responding to it, and the company, because you tag the company, they're seeing you doing it and all that stuff. And that earned me more.
Oh yeah.
That, or doing stuff like that, earned me more with that company. I mean, I really love the scent. I truly do, and I hope they never go away, and, they got new stuff coming up with a goby scent. I'm thinking St. Lawrence River. I'm like, oh my God,
There you go.
And that's using real gobies. And it's like, so it's like, I've done this, I've grown with all my sponsors. And again, some of them I just did start as a pro staff, but with the acknowledgement that I can talk to the guy. Yeah. I can talk to Thomas at P Line. I can talk to the guys at Liquid Mayhem. I can talk to the owner of Woo Tungsten. I literally can talk to all these guys. Ed, Aaron. I literally can, if I want to, I can talk to these guys. I can talk to my rep at Lou's. We're Facebook friends. We saw each other at the fishing show. It's that's the important part. Absolutely. If you have the ability, even if it's a 10, 20% discount, but you believe in the product and you can have a relationship and you're willing to give back to that company. Pro staff is not necessarily where everyone goes to get a logo on a jersey. For 99% of the people that do go on pro staff, that is what happens. That is what happens. But you got to rise above that if you want to be better. And
opportunity is there. Opportunity is there for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's the long road. It's not the easy road, but it's an avenue for 95% of the guys out there. Because
absolutely,
if you haven't fished in major tournaments for a long time. You don't have a social media platform. You know, you're not doing that. You're not doing that lifestyle stuff. You're not getting anything of real, true value without that. And if you do, it's because you have a buddy in the industry.
Yep.
You know, which is not a bad thing. I wish I had more buddies in the industry. You know, but you know that's it's like Kevin. He and I loved Kevin's show. Kevin's show was great, and he basically said it's like, yeah, you can go on pro staff and be blah 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 blah, and but that's pretty much it. And 99% of guys, he's absolutely right. But there is an avenue through it. You know, I don't want people like. This is truly like for small guys, the guys coming up that want to take the next step in the tournament bass fishing. You know, that's I mean, it is a way.
Absolutely. I talked to, I think I went to FLW Cup over in South Carolina one time. I got there super early when it first opened up. Where's Jimmy Houston? Me and Jimmy Houston talked like 30 minutes, and it was great. And he told me every time there's like an expo or FW Cup, attend it. Go, shake hands, meet people, and they'll start recognizing you at the show. Hey, I just saw that guy at the last show last year, and it does. I mean, people recognize you, or if you're using their product and promoting, they'll recognize you. They notice.
Right. Exactly.
Absolutely. But have brand awareness. I mean, just get their brand out there. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's like, this is the simple things. Like here I am. I'm going on a podcast. What do? I put on one of my sponsor's shirts.
Yep.
One of my sponsor's hat. And honestly, this is what I wear all the time anyway.
Yeah.
I truly do. I don't wear Nike shirts. I don't wear anything like that. I wear, my sponsor stuff because honestly, I mean, if you ever wore a t-shirt from Lose, they're actually nice fitting, they're soft and all that. I got apparel from all of them, and it's my casual wear.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's that lifestyle, and I'm happy to wear it. I think it looks good.
Yeah, and then you'll have people, at the gas station or out. They say, "Hey, I like that shirt," and you'll get a conversation just like I said, wearing your apparel. It's amazing.
Exactly. I mean, I was at a rental car place the other day, and he's like, "You fish?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I told him, and next thing I know, he's following me on Facebook, and I returned the car. He's like, "Hey, I saw all your stuff. I saw your wins and all that stuff." And say hi, Alex. And
hey, Alex.
A lot of people are watching you right now, and it's like he got him motivated, and to come to find out, he just moved up here from Mississippi. His boat is back in Mississippi and all that. And I do these small boat tournaments. I'm like, hey, seems like a nice guy. I'm like, hey, if I ever need a guy, he's like, you want to come? I'll take him fishing with me, and do stuff like that. And and he's gonna want to buy what I use,
Oh, absolutely.
That's what happens. But he's a good guy, So. These are the things that people can do that
absolutely
that a lot of people will not do. And like I said, 99% of them that go this route, they're doing it because they want a logo on their jersey. And like, you know what? You could have 100 logos on your jersey. It doesn't mean crap. Not going to make you win. It's not going to make you recognize. When a prospective sponsor, when it really becomes real, they see you have you're a co-angler in a BFL and you got 1,000 logos on your jersey, you're a fraud.
Yeah. A little fishy.
4 different bait companies, 2 weight companies. I'm like, 2 hook companies. I'm like, come on. It becomes obvious.
I've seen guys like 2 or 3 plastic companies. I'm like, it's not right. It's not right.
And that's the other thing too, is like when I talk about building the relationships. So Tennessee Lunker Company, perfect example. They do soft plastics, and I use them, and then when Luz reached out to me to finally give me the break I was looking for Luz, because I really loved their reels. I was offered a Strike King deal as well, and
nice.
And the first thing I did is I called my sponsor and say, hey, is this okay with you?
Yep.
Because this guy, he was one of my first sponsors, and
Yep.
I'm loyal to the people who took a chance on me.
Yep.
And I make the communication. I'm like, hey, it's like, and I'm like, there's a hard, I really like the Strike King hard baits, and like the red eye shad and all that stuff. And then he's like, I have no problem with it. He's like, I use the same stuff.
Yep.
And you communicate with your sponsors that way, so you don't burn bridges either. That's another thing that ticks these people off, especially if you are trying to like prove yourself through the pro staff, and they go back and they look and I'm like, what's this guy? Is like, he's been peddling 4 different bait companies and this and that, and he's like back in May he was about this, now in August he's about this. I'm like, he's all over the map. And so they're like, I mean, you're done at that point. You will not have another chance with that company. So you got to do it right from the start.
Oh yeah, and a good point about the small companies. Start off with the small companies, and a lot of times you can grow with them.
Yep, and that's what I did, and I actually became the pro staff manager of.
Nice.
And I was the first paid angler.
Nice.
Yep, and I started with the pro staff.
Yep.
And I mean, it proves that in certain circumstances, as long as you have the ability to talk to the person in charge and have a relationship, you can grow that way.
Oh, absolutely.
But don't BS these guys at all.
No,
because
they see right through it.
That's the quickest way to be shut out. And people talk. People talk. And, it's say I was an owner of Tennessee Lunker Company, and someone, a friend of mine has another big company. And it's like, hey, I saw this guy. He's reached out to me. He said he is sponsored by you. He's like, what do you think? And I'm like, what do you think of him? And like, they're going to talk.
Oh yeah.
Because people are very careful about what they give away nowadays because they want ROI.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Return on investment.
Absolutely. Got to count the numbers. Numbers count. That's for sure.
Yeah. And that's really, I mean, as much back in the day where I like starting the year, just everything free and traveling the world and all that stuff, I didn't have a requirement, which is crazy because I should have. I did do the right thing.
Right.
I only wore what I was sponsored by and all that stuff, but I had no contract. I had none of that. And really it was a bad way to create, a society of sponsored athletes, but you need a little give and take in this, it's just common sense.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you're just taking, you just got, you're kind of bad character.
Yeah, you got to help yourself accountable. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I tell a lot of high school kids, and I'll talk to them, and I say, hey, man, be careful on your Facebook. People are watching.
Yeah.
Potential sponsors. I know jobs now will go on your Facebook to look around. I mean, I've heard of that now. That's getting more and more.
Yeah, I know. I think of that a lot too because, I got my opinions.
Oh yeah.
Some people. Sometimes I just look at things. I just want to hammer at it, and I just don't.
Yeah, you just want to go. Oh my goodness, why? Yeah,
exactly.
But you gotta be careful these days. I mean, I said it's seems like it's ever changing. I mean, it's Instagram will be the thing this month, and the next month will be TikTok. Seems like it kind of changes. It's like a moving target.
No questions yet?
No questions yet. I don't know.
Come on.
Everybody,
where's John? Give a question. Somebody give a question.
Definitely. But
I like interaction. You get something turned off over there?
No. It's checked on. So I might be hunkered down the storm. Everybody's in the root cellar or something. I don't know. But talking about Enigma. I was with Enigma a long time too. I got some of Aaron's. You remember Aaron's that gray? I got some of those rods. I've had some big fish. I can't. That's a special place on my wall still. So
I'm so upset about Aaron.
I know.
I got to talk to him.
Guy.
I got the privilege to be on a Zoom call with him.
Yep.
And it's like everything I've seen about him. It's like I was already gravitated towards him, and then talking to him just like man to man and all that. I was I'm like I want to spend a day with this guy. You know,
Yeah.
it's like he is so like crazy, like this guy ADHD, like crazy with certain things. And it's like, but it's like his mind was constantly moving at a fast pace, and he was analyzing and evaluating and calculating. I think that's really what made him so great. And then him as a person. And I was going to see him. He was going to go up to Champlain. When things were going downhill and things weren't looking good, he said, like, I want to hit a couple of Toyota series, and he was going to fish Champlain. And I was like, okay, I'm going to make a point. I'm going to put time aside so I can go see him and like just like have that moment. And and I never got it. And then when he passed away, I was really bummed out because, again, I only had one true interaction with him, but the impression I got from him was like really he's just a different person, and I still am bummed about that. Anytime, like, actually, they're not there. I have a pair never used of the Aaron Martin Solar Bat sunglasses.
Oh yeah,
I won't use the green with the green line green on it.
I remember those. Yeah,
and I got that. Like, I'm never gonna get rid of them. You know.
But good thing is he's still kind of, his memories are live on YouTube and some other stuff. You can go back and watch. I got lucky one time. I worked a show with Enigma and him down in Knoxville, and hey man, he was just cool as heck. I was my time with him, and man, he was great guy. I mean, this was back, probably mid 2015, 17, 18, somewhere in there. But it was good. But yeah, like I said, you could tell his thinking's just like, up here. It was unreal. And the way he like reacted with, people and customers, and, it was good. He was good.
Yeah.
But I think I interviewed his mom one time, and his mom, you can tell where he got it from. And she used to guide. She would take people out that want to learn how to drop shot, and she'd take them out. Yeah. And she's still around, but she's like him, but she got a lot of energy, and she knows her stuff. Sharp lady.
That's
so
cool.
I see where he got a lot of his tendencies from her, but she's a super nice lady, very, very knowledgeable. So but that's pretty cool. But the sponsorship game, man, seemed like it's ever changing, man. It seemed like it used to, like, September, October, the new sponsorships, you sign up or re-sign, and now it seems like it's moving December, January. It's kind of in flex, seems like.
I mean, as everyone always looks at me and says, "Oh, you're good at the sponsorship stuff." I've had the worst off season ever.
Yeah,
the absolute worst. Like, there were with certain companies that I've actually went and visited with.
Yeah,
and they're not getting back to me or anything like that. And like, I had one company I visited with last January down in Florida. I actually went in there. I looked at every product they had, and they dragged me in the office. We sat down with management and everything. And I was really interested in going all in with them this year. And I've heard nothing.
Oh,
and I was like, are you kidding me? I'm from Massachusetts, and I was actually in your facility in Florida.
Yep.
And it's like how many people do that? It's just like, and it's like, I was so bummed.
Oh yeah, it happens, man. I mean, it's some of the pros. I mean, it happens. I mean,
it's tough right now, and you just got to keep finding a different angle, and you got to have patience. You got to have patience, and you have to have the understanding is that in these days, no one's ever going to get fully sponsored unless you're winning the Elite Series. You're in top 10 consistently. Like, if you're in Bassmaster Opens, Toyota Series, BFLs, ABA, it's not happening, bud. It's not. No. It's like you're going to have to put your own money into it,
Yeah,
or have a side hustle.
Yeah. or it said your pie's getting smaller and smaller. Your slice is getting. It seems like every year it's getting a little thinner. But
I mean, like follow different anglers too. Like, and even like if they're approachable, ask them, how'd you get started? Because not all these pros had money.
No,
like Brian Ladder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good guy. He's a very approachable. Like you can message him, he'll answer you and all that. And he's really cool. I really do like Brian.
He's down to earth guy.
I like him a lot. He's all about teaching people the cheaper way to do things and all that. And like he did something for somebody last year. There's some kid. He was 17 years old, and he won a tournament, and he after that he's like, oh, I can buy my boat now, because he's been mowing lawns and everything, and he was saving up, and kid bought his own boat, by just doing a side hustle and fishing the locals, and then I think Brian, I don't know if I might be mixing him up with someone else, did something for him, and it's just like, you just do these little things. But
I mean,
that's right. I mean, as far as the pro staff stuff, there's not a lot more I can say about it, unless you have a question on that. It is what it is.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's an avenue for, the new upcoming folk.
Yeah.
And it's, what you do with it. Just, my biggest tip is make sure it's a company that you can actually communicate with. Yeah. And potentially build a relationship with.
Absolutely. And like I said, bottom line, selling product, pushing product, getting brand awareness, getting their name out. I mean, that's a lot of it.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of bottom line. I mean, they're looking at the bottom line, especially these days, as tight as everything is.
I don't know how many Enigma rods I've sold at Dick's Sporting Goods. Because just striking out a conversation with someone in a fishing house, see them looking at rods, and I'll be like, hey, I go, listen, I do this a bit. I go, what are you looking for? What kind of rod? And they tell me. I'm like, no. And I would pull up the website, and I'm like, hey, here's a promo code. I'm like, I go, use this. I go, you're going to be more than happy with it, and you're going to get a great warranty program and all that. And they'll order, and I've had people order right in the aisle.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, it's all you got to do. It's, I mean, if you live in it, it's not hard. You know?
Oh yeah. Well, it's like, John's MGM cold tags. Every time I go fishing, I got them. And a lot of time my boaters will have trouble with theirs. And, well, hey, what you got? And I'll show them, and they'll be like, man, that's nice. And I give them the website and all that. So, I mean, it sells itself. They see it and how good it works compared to what they got. And it's like, sells itself.
They're good. Sometimes I have to call my own kids. I just put them right on their lip and
you put it nose ring. Use it as a little nose ring.
Go right there.
Yep. Heard that. But I know, kids getting into it, they have some misconceptions. I know you've heard it. They say, okay, I'm fishing the high school team when I get my new boat. Don't work that way.
No.
You got to put the work in.
No. Yeah, it's different, and it's just the way it is. And there's a lot of complaints in the industry. Entry fees are going up, prize money is going down. And you got the stress on the co-anglers. Co-anglers are going away, and all that stuff. It won't go away in MLF though.
No, they're solid. I don't see it either. It's pretty solid.
Yeah.
But speaking about that, it's funny. We got a BFL coming up this weekend, and I think there's 12 more boaters and co-anglers. So I think every day I have 3 or 4 boaters. Hey man, you got a link? Oh, yeah, I got a link, man. I'm good. Sorry. You know anybody? I'll ask around, man, but I don't know. I'll try to help you out, but I can't promise you anything, So.
I was thinking about pimping myself out. Hey.
Yeah, hey, auction. Yeah, I'll talk about that. Auction, 50, 75, do your live auction or something. But I've heard of guys doing that. I've heard boaters like offering to pay their way in and, providing like an Airbnb. So, I think it's going to, for the end of the year, I think it's going to get crazier, but we'll see.
It's like put out personal ad to boaters.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Code for hire.
Yeah.
Let's start a website, man. Code for hire.
Only $9.99 a month.
That's right. Hey, for a price, we'll set you up. But no, I said in this co-angler game, I've been in it since 2017. I've seen a lot of changes. I mean, it's like every year it changes. The game changes, but got to stay ahead of the game, though.
Hold on, bud. He think I was getting away from the. I changed my screen to look at something.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Thank
I heard
you.
that.
Please click it now.
But it's amazing the people you meet. You know, I fished with Gerald Swindle one time as a co, and Clay Dyer, and it's amazing some of the people you get to fish with. Man, it's unreal.
Yeah. I haven't. You know, I've fished with a lot of good boaters, but anyone like any of the pros, only a couple, like Drew Gill.
Yep. Oh yeah, that's good.
And horrible. You don't want to draw him as a co-angler. Yeah. But and he'll tell you that himself. But he's a good kid. He's a good kid, and you got to respect his game.
Oh yeah, I had a young kid on Smith Lake, and he told me he was going to be scoping like 100-something foot of water. Trolling motor on 9. He says, "Hey man, I'm sorry, it might be a long day for you." I said, "Hey man, I'm here to enjoy the day, help you out. Maybe I get lucky, catch fish or two." So, but I've had some good guys. And
you say that.
Yeah.
You say that.
Yep. I know. Yeah, I know. Well, I've got a couple of things figured out on the scoping thing, but I mean, it does make it a tough day, but you can catch them.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, your chances are slim, but
biggest thing is keep your mind in the game.
Well, you know, that's with anything, like the mental side of any sport is the most important part. You know,
absolutely.
I can go on about talking about mental game. It's like, I mean, I've used my mental game to take the, you know, especially on one-on-one competition, all that. I've used my mental game when maybe I'm not, you know, physically at my top, and I use my mental game to win over against my opponent, you know, and there's so much to be said about the mental side of everything in preparation, you know, and like that your mental strength will help you prepare more too, as far as like, you know, like when we had my wife on about fitness. Like prepping what the foods you bring on, like, you know, be strategic about, you know, all that stuff. That's all part of the mental game.
Oh, absolutely.
But in implementing the other stuff into it, you know.
Absolutely. I remember, I think it was Rick Clunn one time said, you know, you go into like a tournament that's rough, you know, it's got bad weather, high winds, and half the field mentally has took themselves out. They said, you know, we shouldn't be fishing today. And it's like, somebody's got to win. Somebody's got to catch them. Might as well be you. So just preparing yourself mentally for that tough conditions.
Oh yeah, it's like Champlain last year. I was real bad. I mean, they really shouldn't let us go out. I mean, it was like Bering Sea, like 20 footers. Not really 20 footers, but it was.
But it looked like that way.
It was real, and like half the field was checked out, and I was like, good. You know, I was like, and I had a good run. I just didn't get that fifth fish, and that fifth fish could have potentially gave me the win. And but I was like, you know what, this is going to be hairy. Stay focused, be observant, and I had a chance to win that thing, you know. And because I saw boats checking out before it even started. It was I was like, perfect. I've had some. I'm
like you. Yeah, I'm like you, man. I've had my best finishes in the worst conditions. So. But it kind of, I said, you just got to stay focused and do your thing, man. I mean.
Yeah, I've another tournament in Champlain, too, where it was so bad. And next thing you know, by 8:30, I get 18.5 pounds already in the boat. And I'm like,
wow.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That was because of the Carolina rig, which we talked about off air.
There you go. Hey, that's one thing I need to really. I've done it a long time ago, and I've kind of gotten away from it. I need to get back into it. What is your favorite kind of setup for Carolina rig?
keep it simple.
I like it.
The barrel weights, the extra swivels, the double beads, all that, get rid of it all.
Yep.
Get rid of it all. It's simple, 20-pound fluoro. Buddy, I need my hat. I need a haircut, obviously. 20-pound fluoro. I use a 15-pound leader. I use a flipping weight, half ounce, depending on depth. Like I'll use like a half ounce flipping weight. I'm not going to use a whole 1 ounce and all that because you're really creating a lot of unnecessary turbulence under the water. And depending on the clarity of the water, I adjust my leader length. People say 18 inches. Sometimes I use a 28 inch leader in clear water.
Yeah.
To say, and with that, because it makes the bait flutter more and helps it go over the rocks more and all that.
Oh yeah. Go through the logs and all that. Oh yeah, definitely. Well, what's your favorite bait on a Carolina rig?
Depends on a lake. It's like, if you're down, like say Lake Okeechobee, and if you watch the Elite Series, people are using a Carolina rig. And they're either using like, a 6-inch Senko, or they're using a cut tail worm, like a Magnum speed worm, stuff like that. And, Tennessee river chain. Sometimes, you use like a brush hog, something like that. And they get like Champlain, I like using cross style baits. Oh yeah. Like Champlain, so.
Yeah, a lot of guys around here use a brush hog or even like a fluke. That's probably two top ones.
Yeah, fluke can come into play.
Oh yeah, definitely. Got that gliding motion.
Yeah. Or you can Carolina rig a spook.
Oh yeah. Well, I got an ex-father-in-law in Knoxville. Used to have a tackle shop. He would Carolina rig a floating Rapala or Rebel and just wear me out with it. Catch smallmouth like crazy.
I joke about that all the time. I did a post that was coming, like I got a video coming. It's about Carolina rigging a spook and all that. I got like hundreds and hundreds of replies on it, and like, I could see that. Yeah, and like, is this a joke? I'm like, no. I go, video coming out next week, and I left it hanging on it. It was funny.
Oh yeah,
but it could work.
Yeah. I mean, it could. You never know till you try it. Hey,
my thing with a Carolina rig is keep it simple. Don't make it a hardware store.
Yep.
I mean, we all go down in line weight and everything based off fishing conditions. Why should it be any different for any other type of rig, Carolina rig or, Texas rig or whatnot? It's the same principles. It's the common sense. I've proven this. Like that day, I had 18.5 pounds by 830. The guy with me was a former tackle warehouse pro, and he was all frustrated. So he started Carolina rigging. He pulled out his hardware store, and he wasn't catching anything, and I was catching them every cast.
Oh, hey.
And then he's like, "What am I doing wrong?" I go, "Well, you got a hardware store. You got to get rid of that." I go, "You got the wrong color." Just different things. You just got to pay attention to common sense.
Oh yeah, and yeah, absolutely. I mean, and then you got to practice at it. You got to work at it. Don't show up on tournament day and start throwing it when you hadn't thrown it in practice or any time.
But as a co-angler, it's probably one of the more effective ways to fish because you can fish it all year round. You can fish it in any lake. You can, there's so many opportunities to fish it on. Give me 1 second. My son's about to.
Get out of the calling thing.
But yeah, Carolina rig guys I've seen a bunch of older guys just wear them out on the Carolina rig. So absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, when I was at Dale Hollow one year, the co-angler won it on a Carolina rig.
Oh yeah.
I've multiple times almost won on a Carolina rig.
Yep.
It's not sexy at all.
No.
Sometimes it's just a worse way to fish, but if you start hitting it, then it becomes fun. It's and I gotta give credit to Jesse from Enigma. He's the one who like kind of hammered in my head. He's like, listen to me. He's like, don't sleep on a Carolina rig.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I don't want to do Carolina. I don't want to do Carolina. And then I did it, and I was fishing with someone who was live scoping, and the first fish I caught that day was on a Carolina rig.
Yep.
And then I saw topwater action, and I, plucked out 4 more on the topwater, and I was like, there is something to this Carolina rig. So what it made me do, it made me kind of work at it and kind of refine it to where I feel if that's potentially the bite, and I throw it and I throw it and I do get a bite, I know that's what I'm going to be confident sticking with it.
Oh yeah.
And, and I've done it for smallmouth. I've done it for largemouth, spotted.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it works anywhere in the country. It really does.
Oh yeah.
But it's really keeping it simple. Make sure you're the right hook for the right lake. If you're in Okeechobee, you need to be at least be having a 4-aught or a 5-aught. If you're in a smallmouth fishery, you need to be at a 3-aught. The common sense stuff. Don't put more than you need to. Have your leader a little lighter than your main line. Because we have great equipment now, great drag and all that. You don't need to overpower it. If you have to have real heavy line to get through stuff, the Carolina rig may not be the right way to go anyway,
Right.
But clearer water, longer leader, darker water, shorter leader. Again, common sense. The reason why I say shorter leader, because if it's a dirtier water, and I generally don't do much in dirty water, but even if it's like a lot of vegetation, you get that. I use the flip and weight, and I have a bead. That's it. Flip and weight and a bead. The swivel, bead, flip and weight. And I'll just, crack it, then get that click. And then the fish, if they're feeling vibration and sound, they look at that and then they see something move, they're more up to get it. So if it's a darker water and that leader is too far away, they'll look and they don't see nothing. Where clear water, they'll still be able to see it, but on the dirty or heavy vegetation, if it's shorter, they'll be able to pick up on it, and then it'll be a reaction bite in many ways, because it's sometimes it's visual just because they're feeding and you're dragging on clear water and shell beds or whatever, but it's good in all situations. The only time I really don't throw it is the winter time. Cold water, very early spring. That's the only times I really don't throw it.
I got you. Yeah, really good on like rocky points. I've done really good on like a rocky point and drag it down. Hey, we got a couple of quick questions here. Mr. Sean Latham, I think it's how I pronounce it. What are your go-to baits for the Carolina rig?
Sean, my go-tos, again, depends on the lake. If I'm down south in Florida, a lot of times I'm going to do like a cut-tailed worm, like a Magnum, Zoom Magnum speed worm is a good example of a cut-tail worm. A lot of times, like Tennessee River chain, I'll go more with like a brush hog or something like that. And then, up in like smallmouth fisheries, I'll go with a craw. Any type of craw that has, a few appendages on it, and I'll also match the craw based on the lighting conditions. If it's, clear water, the sun's out and all that, I'll go with, a smaller profile. If it's darker water or low light, I may go with, a larger profile. Like say, but best example that people would understand, like Zoom, they have the ultra vibe speed craw and the super speed craw. They're both about the same size generally, but the super speed craw has a much larger claws on them, so on a low light. So that's an example of, a low light situation or a darker water, something you can put on. And I always chartreuse my tips.
Oh yeah,
always.
Absolutely.
Always.
Good point.
Always. I don't care. Clear water, dirty water, whatever. Always.
Makes a difference. I've seen it make a difference. And he also asked, a plastic or a glass bead?
I'm more concerned about the weight itself. tungsten only.
Yep.
It's a different density, gives a different sound. I do find with just a red plastic bead.
Yep.
You know, I know there are people that like the glass beads and all that, and yeah, it's a different sound. I mean, you can't go wrong with either one, in my opinion.
Absolutely. I mean,
I'm a believer in that tungsten weight, though. That's really because it's a lower profile for the weight, but it's a different type of density. It gives just a different sound. It's more of a true clack than with lead. It's more of a hollow thud underwater.
Definitely. And only time I've heard guys use lead around here is like real rocky areas, because tungsten, when you go through a rock, it won't give. That lead will kind of soft it is, it'll kind of give, and you might get it through a rock. So that's the only time I've heard guys use lead anymore.
Well, that's another reason why I don't use heavy weight on a Carolina rig. Because you can pop it over. It's much easier to pop over those rocks and all that stuff. And just doing that pop creates an action. It's like
bait comes up.
Yep, these heavy weights, these hardware stores, I look at it and I roll my eyes. I know that's been the way it's been done for years, but for me, I'll never do it. It's not the common sense in my head. My common sense. It could be different from other people, but I don't see it ever working right for me.
Yeah, it's like a cannonball. You're dragging a cannonball on the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen guys ounce and a half. It's like, good Lord.
No.
Nah, not good. I've heard guys doing like the Zoom centipede or the French fry. Like it was real tough. I've heard guys doing that too. Yeah,
there's some other baits I'm going to be experimenting with soon too. Like fresh baits. Yeah, they got that like scorpion style. I'm going to play with it.
Absolutely.
You got to play with it. Just to see what other things work, because fish change behavior. They see a lot of the same thing, and it's done. Like the Dream Shot was like a popular drop shot bait for the longest time, and now no one uses it because the fish won't bite it. Or the Whopper Plopper was like the best top water lure, and now no one's using it, because the fish just get, oh yeah, I've seen that thing go by me 1,000 times in these pressured lakes. They'll work in any pond or anything like that doesn't get pressure, but if you do the tournament lakes, they turn off to it.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's like chatterbait. Chatterbait kind of eliminated spinnerbait. It seems like spinnerbait's kind of coming back around.
Spinnerbaits are coming back.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. I'm actually going to be concentrating a little bit more on my spinnerbait game this summer, this season, I should say, for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I've got a big bass trophy on a little 1/4 ounce spinnerbait. So, they do work.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. But hey, man, it's 57 minutes after. We always give you a couple minutes to go over your sponsors and thank the people that support you. So I'll give you the floor there for a few minutes. You want to there, David?
Yeah, my sponsors. I got always sometimes I'm always afraid to forget.
Oh yeah,
who they are. Of course, Lose, of course, Strike King, Tennessee Lunker Company. The Lose reels, I really like them. Strike King has a great array of hard baits. Tennessee Lunker Company, they make an array of soft plastics, jigs, and chatterbait baits. Daiichi is a real big sponsor of mine, actually. Daiichi is part of the TTI Blakemore group, who also makes the Pro X hooks, and they're fantastic. They're fantastic. Alex is getting a little rambunctious here, and then I got my line sponsor is P Line. I've been with them since the beginning. I've grown with them, and they've been great for me. I mean, their line is great. Oh yeah, tactical fluorocarbon. Honestly, the Halo. If you haven't given that line a shot, if you want a line that you can really cast for long distance, ground like working a worm, on a Texas rig, or even just anything you want for good casting, chatterbait, whatever. I use Halo more than anything nowadays out of the P line. For my scent, I talked about earlier, the Liquid Mayhem. I mean, it's all natural ingredients, and it works really good. And then for my tackle storage and rod storage and stuff like that, I use Flambeau Outdoors. They actually make a great for co-anglers out there. They make a fantastic backpack. The one that Mike Iaconelli always promotes, I actually have that, and that's like the best co-angler bag.
Oh yeah.
I before that I thought I had the best co-angler bag. No, that one is really, really, really good. And for my jerseys and stuff like that, I got Sublime Wear USA. They make a great quality jersey. And what's good about them is like they have so many templates that you can create your own jersey if you don't want to really create your own custom design. I'm like the jerseys I have in all my photos are all they're all hold on, my son almost knocked us off.
No, you said good.
They're all template designs. I'm like, you know what? They're taking, they're giving me something. I got to give them something. So I promote the template designs. And then I'm also with Woo Tungsten.
Yep.
So Woo Tungsten is funny because they started out as more of a weight company, but they also provide a lot of other baits from other companies, Z-Man, all that. And they're becoming like more of a tackle store. And that's benefited me, to be honest with you. That's been a real big benefit. And then for my outerwear, I used a wind rider gear. It's they're not as expensive as some of the other companies, and they do a good job. And it's like the bibs are really easy because they have the zippers. They have the reverse zippers everywhere too, so they're easy to get on and off in a pinch. Cool. And then my sunglasses, I use Solar Bat.
Okay.
So I used to be in the sunglass business, and Solar Bat has, for the money, probably some of the best sunglasses because they actually put a lot of care into the lenses. Yep. And that's really what matters, and they've been really good to me, and I always get a few pair each year of all different types of lens gradients and all that for different light conditions. So Holtz Media Solutions, they do my website, which I really got to update because I've been so behind with everything. That's something I really need to get done. And then as far as rods, we're still waiting on what's that going to be.
You're in the testing phase.
Yeah, I'm almost there. Hopefully I get to announce something soon. So
cool.
we will see.
Absolutely. And I got a quick number comment. Mr. Jimmy Ingram says, "Good evening from Florida. Great info." Hey, thank you, Jimmy. Thanks for tuning in, man. David always brings it.
Appreciate it.
But well, hey, man, it's been it's been a few minutes with you, and man, they always bring got good info. I mean, your background, and we always appreciate you sharing your takes and some info. So appreciate it, man.
Yeah, we'll do some more creative stuff in the future.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. And,
I'm burnt out of the sponsorship stuff now.
Oh,
no, honestly, as a show, you guys have done an amazing job covering it, getting different points of view from different people.
Yep.
And I just kind of wanted to do this just kind of like for the people just starting, like, what's realistic. And the pro staff isn't going to give you a lot in the beginning. If you do it right, you can earn something from it.
Yeah, absolutely. Say, go out and promote. That's all I can tell you.
Exactly.
But it's all marketing and selling, and like you said, numbers is big time these days. So.
Yep, exactly.
But again, man, hey, I appreciate it, and tell the missus I said hello, and I'm down 25. So I told her thank you for the inspiration. I've done pretty good. I'm getting there.
Yeah, that's good. She'll be happy to hear that.
Yep. All right. And hey, everybody, keep John in thoughts and prayers. He's a little under the weather, so I'm sure he's going to be back with us. And so I appreciate everybody tuning in. And David, thank you for coming on. Well, hey, when's your first tournament? When's your first tournament?
I didn't go to my first tournament.
Yep, that's me.
It was supposed to be Okeechobee, so let's get some stuff going on. I'm trying to figure that out. I'll put that out there soon. Something's up in the air. Okay. I'll be back at it, and I'll be holding up some big fish.
Okay, we look forward to it, man. Hey, I appreciate it. Have a good night, and tell Mrs. I said hello, and y'all have a good night out there.
All right, you as well.
All right, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
All right, see you, man. All right. But guys, a lot of good juice from Mr. David there. He always brings it, and Said we'll have a show tomorrow night. Can't remember on top of my head my guest, but hopefully John will be back with us. And said appreciate all y'all tuning in. And I said we thank each and every one of you. So anyway, from Stormy, Kentucky, this is Cajun Rob signing out. Peace out. Everybody have a good evening and a better tomorrow. See ya.